Hello everyone. I've got a few questions that people have asked me about this tool I've been using to surface my loaves of soap. This is one of the tools I have. It has a cutter blade in it right here. It's very sharp. On the back side it's got a couple of screws to adjust the depth of the blade. You can't see it, but it's set at about 1/16 of an inch. Just enough to take the imperfections off the soap. And what I do is I hold it upside down, and then I can shave the entire loaf at one time. It was actually intended to slide one bar across it at a time, such as this. And that really takes forever. I'm going to give you a demonstration of this here in a few minutes. Second question I received is people have been asking me about the colorants I use. I use some clays. This is a pink clay. I think you can see the color on here. Well, that's a natural colorant. Comes in a jar like this, or it comes in a bag and you can put it in a jar. I like the jar because you're not messing with a little bag. You just put the lid on it and get what you need and put it away. Got a couple of other colorants. These are just little sample jars. They're actually lip balm jars. And I use small amounts of them. I try not to put too much color in, because there's a lot of people that are sensitive to everything. And some of the dark colors like red have a content of lead, and I try to keep the heavy metals and toxins to a minimum. This is a cheapo dye that I bought somewhere. It really doesn't have enough pigment in it to do much good. I have this bottle here. The people that was selling it no longer sell it, and it worked really well. It's made just for soaps. Takes a lot of yellow, but like the red, 2 or 3 drops does a big color change. Most of my powder dyes come in a jar like this. This one looks kind of orange, but it's actually yellow. I have this little tiny spoon. See how big it is on my finger. And a half a scoop of this will dye 15 bars of pale yellow. Very, very vivid color. Some of it, like the ultramarine purple, it takes several scoops of it to even notice the color change. Sometimes you have to take your dyes and you have to do a little trial and error. One thing I wanted to mention to you is there's a website called about.com. They have all kinds of tips you can use on a variety of subjects. If you go into the candle making section, you can get all types of soap making tips. There's a page on natural colorants for soap. You'd be surprised at some of the stuff in your kitchen you can use. I like to use Hershey's cocoa or Nesquik or any type of powdered cocoa. That makes a really nice chocolate, and it's safe because it's consumable. You can use paprika for red. I'm not exactly sure what all the coloring agents are, but there's quite a few you'll find right in your kitchen. Well, that's a little bit on colorants. Let's try out this little machine. Come up here and get a better look at this. You see the blade right here. Kind of like a razor blade. My daddy was into woodworking, and he had a machine that had 3 of these blades that rotated at high speed, and you could put a piece of wood through there and it would shave it off the same way. On the back side, There's a couple of screws here to adjust the blade, or you could take it out and sharpen it if you needed to. But I found if I held it upside down, I could push it like a wood plane instead of trying to push a turn that around so I don't cut my hand. Instead of pushing a single bar across it, turning it and pushing it again. It takes a long time to do 60 bars at that rate, because there's a few times I forgot to use this and I just cut them, and then I had to push the bars across it one at a time to get them smooth. And I like the way I do it. The whole loaf at one time. I've got one bar of soap here. This is just an end piece. There's the curl that come off of it. If you do this, you want to be very careful. You can see the bar is very clean now. I just made one pass. I missed a little bit on that end. The next feature of this, see the trimmings that come off of it. So you can do the edges as well. There's two different angles on here. I found I can do that trimming with a potato peeler about as, in fact, about 3 times faster. Got one back here. I always hold my thumb on the blade so it doesn't rotate. Maybe you can see how this edge beveled it. What that does is it takes off all of the surface deposits. Sometimes you get a little bit of ash that forms. Soda ash forms on the surface. Then that peels it off nice and smooth. It takes off all the imperfections and it makes it look store-bought. So today I showed you a little bit about the dies and showed you how to use that tool. It's called a soap planer. I'm not exactly sure where you can buy that. I purchased that from a small independent supplier, which would be a small guy like myself that just sells the stuff on his website. It's not a major corporation. I have no idea who made that for him. But anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another video. I'll have this out soon. Somebody asked me about my soap space, and I'm going to see about inserting a picture of my curing rack of how I allow this stuff to dry. So over here on the side, it's 2 or 3 levels, and I've got a little fan that blows air across it to prevent any mildew. It just keeps the air circulating. It's not a hard fan. It just keeps the air moving across it. And I'll insert a picture so you can see how I made that. Anybody can make that from stuff from the building supply.